Hello everyone. Hello. Legendary here, and today I'll be doing my first ever deck lock on here. So today's deck lock is my favorite deck in standard, Direful Androld. Direful Master Androld. This deck is really focuses on just tanking a lot, drawing a lot, and pretty solid power. It's not really that high of a power, but it's solid enough. So, starter, Direful Tunya. Not really important, but you could use another starter. But since it's Direful, you can kind of call it when you're kind of desperate and stuff. And the great one is Direful Serenella. This one is here. It says, when ruled upon by the Great 2, which is Direful Griselda, it can look top 7 and choose 2 Direful, put it to soul. And this one says, when ruled upon by Direful Master Androld, you can call her out. And her skill, on place on Riga Circle, you can choose a card with Direful in your hand, you put it to soul, and you draw a card. And this unit and your Vanguard get 5k. So don't forget that your Vanguard gets 5k as well. A lot of people tend to forget that. And of course, Direful Androld, that we play an extra 3 copies in the main deck for Persona Ride. His skill is that CB1, choose the same amount of Direful work right, very important, work right, from your soul, and you call it the same number as your opponent's Vanguard grade. For example, your opponent grade is grade 3, you call 3 cards. If your opponent Vanguard is grade 2, you only call 2. If your opponent Vanguard is grade 0, which is kind of rare, don't pay the cost then. It's better off. Better off keeping that CB. And what's the most unique thing about this deck as a whole is the second skill, which says when this unit is attacked, which means before guarding step, you can choose a card with Direful and work right from your bind zone and guard it, and it gets extra 5k. So it's kind of like a permanent 5k buff. So your Vanguard is always 18k, even if you guard with the grade 3, you will still get a 5k shield. So it's really good, really solid, because most of what you guard with is 10k shield, and it's what you use to attack with anyway, and it does help with like a lot of cycling and stuff like that. So next grade 3 is 3 copies of Direful Liberata. So Liberata is probably your best beat stick of the deck. When it swings, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can allow it to get 10k power, and if you do at the end of battle, you have to bind it, and then you counterblast to draw. This is on place on rear guard circle or guardian circle, you can choose a Direful from your drop and you put them to soul, which is, you know, really good for cycling and stuff. Next one, you have Direful Tarquina, 4 copies of them. This one is promo. It says on place, counterblast 1, look top 5, and you can grab any Direful. Remember that. You can also grab Persona, right? And put it to hand, only on place. And when it swings, it gets 10k. Pretty good beat stick. 20k is pretty solid. Then we have our multi-attacker for the deck. Is Direful Providence. We play 4 copy because multi-attack is good. And when it swings a grade 3 or greater, only on grade 3 or greater, which means if your opponent grade 2, it's just going to swing for 10, but if your opponent is grade 3, this is going to swing for 20. On Persona, this is 30. Just really kind of crazy. Just no boosted, 30k. And then the other skill is at the end of battle it attacked, you energy plus 3 and you bind this card and you call only Direful work right from your soul into it. So you swing and then you bind it and then you call something else. So that's your multi-attacker. Now the only few generics in this deck, I play 2 copy of the Persona Shield generator because, I don't know, I just like extra shield. You can use something else, you can use Tiskar I guess if you want, but Tiskar is pretty dangerous if you're going first. Then we play 4 copies of Direful Bartolomea. This is your counter charger. When at the end of battle it boosted, you bind another normal unit and you give another, if you give a unit 5k, any unit you can bind any unit and you can get 5k to any unit, and then you bottom deck it, and if you did not countercharge that turn, you can countercharge. So she doesn't bind herself. So, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good countercharger. Pretty useful because your deck kind of always CB1 every turn. So having a countercharger is pretty important. Next one is one copy of this new girl. I don't remember her name. Direful. She's nice, but I don't think she's really that important in the deck to play a lot of copies of. On place, from hand, you look top 5 and you choose a Direful, put to soul. It doesn't even refund herself. And the second skill is when something else is bound, you can bind her to give 2 of your units 5k. It doesn't matter. It have to be 2 different units, but it's 2 any unit in any colony, which is pretty good, but it's not that important. Next one, we have the GOAT, Direful Plagia. This is really strong. At the end of battle, it boosts. If you have Vanguard with Direful, you just put 2 Direful from drop to soul. That's it. And then bind herself. And then when called, she gets 5k. When called to Guardian Circle, she gets extra 5k, which means calling this by Androld skill to Guardian Circle is 15k shield. This is a trigger, and she's just the queen of cycling of this deck. Like, generally, she's so good. A lot of people start playing her on 3, which is like pretty dangerous. I think you really need her to be 4. One copy of this Astraea one. Not much to say here. If you put a trigger into soul, you can bind it, so you can gut with 20k shield. But it's not Direful. That means you can't bind it. You can't do much with it. So better play low copy. At least 2. Even if, at max is 2 copy, I think. And one copy of this thing, which is just better. Alright, the right line skill, the Great One right line, also have a one regard skill. It says when this unit attack or boost, you get 5k, and then bind it at the end of battle. This is kind of the same, but instead of just on attack, it's only on boost, and it also puts a card from your drop to soul, and it gets 5k, and it binds herself. So she's just better Serenella in every single way. 3 PGs, you can play 4 if you don't have Elementaria. 8 crits. The 4 crits must be Direful. It's pretty good. Like, just in case you whiffed so hard with Griselda, you can put a trigger from hand to soul to get pieces if you're really that desperate. So it's nice to have. It's really nice to have. And the 4 triggers, it could be anything you want. Effect trigger doesn't really do much in this deck, unless you use the triple rare Direful, the generic Direful that says soul does 3 draw. That one is pretty useful. Then 4 copies of just Direful heal. This is also Direful. It's the same reason with the Direful crits. 3 fronts. you better off with front effects. Don't do this. You probably should get the shield plus 5 one, which is better. For OT, I've tested with like Piss OT, I've tested with Red OT, but you can't go wrong with this. You really can't, because your Vanguard is like really low power, and so getting this makes your Vanguard always swing for 23 at minimum, 33 persona, right? 33 crit with extra crit. They will have to guard your Vanguard. It's kind of scary with this OT. And the last ones are orders. I have this twin cast. You can use anything you want, to be honest. You can use Fire Regalies. You can use Fire Regalies is fine. Unit in the Sky is not that good, but it's fine. You can use that. The Cup is also not that good, but it's fine. The Evergreen Transfer, whatever. Like, this is probably the best because your deck focuses on just like shielding a bunch of stuff and then just tanking. So, you know, having a Blitz Order that is pretty much 25k shield on demand is really good. Elementaria, already talked about it, it's just PG that can't be restricted and whatever. Last one is Disorder, which is a promo order. I don't remember her name, but it has a long name. So it says here, when played, it's a set order. So you play it and you go to set order. You look at top 7 and you take 1 Direful doll, put to hand. It's really good. It refunds itself. And then once it is on set order, you can put it to drop. And you can choose 2 Direful doll and put it to soul. So it's basically Pelagia on demand. It's really good because it's a main phase thing. So before you call with Androld, you can just put this to drop, put 2 things, just in case you're that desperate on soul, which most of the time you probably do, especially if you use more soul bless important build. Yeah, this is really good. So you can use 3 copies. Some people use 3 copies. I like just put 2 because I like having shields in my deck. So yeah, that's pretty much it.